I'm Ian Dickenson. I am the principal of Lorcan O'Herlihy Architects, which is an architecture and urban design practice based in Los Angeles, California. And we also have a satellite office in Detroit, Michigan. But one of the things that I enjoy about travel in general, and certainly something that was a part of kind of, the way that I think about the world, was being able to grow up in places where I was, the kind of outsider, or I was traveling through or passing through, or however it may be. And I think that teaches you a certain degree of self-realization and empathy in the designer. And I think that it also, again, just allows you to appreciate the great diversity of different thought and great diversity of different ways that people feel about how and we should coexist with our environment. Being, coming from a family who are makers and doers and thinkers, mine is a family. Every house that I grew up in was in some state of construction or disrepair because we were building it or rethinking it or do something. All the way from my direct parents and step parents, all the way through to my uncles and aunts and extended relations, are all people that are engaged in craft, maybe in different ways. And so we were the family that, like, every piece of furniture in our house was built by us, like designed by us. So I think that there's something to be said about that kind of doing aspect of what we do as architects, and really being kind of curious and understanding how things go together. And as far as just kind of before we dive into any project, just to kind of zoom out a couple clicks and recognize how we broadly feel, or how we situate ourselves within the conversations that we participate within. And so those may be kind of, broader societal issues. Those may be very specific set of contextual issues, whatever it kind of may be. But that's how I would define what influences your set of core values. It starts with having an interest in being drawn towards a condition or a subject, or, kind of whatever it may be, being passionate enough about that thing to really kind of seek out what are the salient set of issues that exist, like what are the most important parts. And then from that set of kind of, information that you pull together, then come ideas. But I think that when I feel comfortable that we've been caring in our approach, thoughtful in our process, and then rigorous in our pursuit, that's when I feel comfortable in being allowed or allowing that kind of design process to ensue, and feeling comfortable that we really have done some service or justice. I think that anybody who's being honest about the design process recognizes it as a true reflection of the kind of collection of people that are working in the practice at that time. And I see our responsibility as, like, leadership in the practice to kind of create an environment, or almost create like an ethos that people are able to be creative and pursue these questions together within. It's a challenging one to predict. I think that what it is that we're currently pursuing is this broadening of definition and recognizing architecture not as a very specific set of capabilities, but being able to, contribute to a broader set of challenges that are impacting the world currently, and recognizing it as architecture as a way of thinking, or architecture as a way of going about seeing the world, or architecture, again, to use, like, probably not the best term, like, as a process, rather than what your kind of mind typically jumps to, like when you think about architecture. Goodness, we're always in this mindset. So one of the things that really attracted me to the office initially, there was these set of ethics that were talked about a lot and still are talked about. And one of them was this idea that we're going to define as ruthless optimism. And I was always really interested in that. I thought that was just such a fascinating way to be able to conceive of some of the parameters that we encounter in the practice. So stay curious, stay passionate, stay ideas driven, appreciate your capabilities, and really focus your energy towards seeking operating within the types of position and context that you want to, rather than focusing your energy on self-limitations or doubt or uncertainty or things like that as well, as best as you can. It's never easy.